I'm the Reverend Harold Munn. I'm the priest at St. Anselm's Church, which is virtually on the UBC campus. And I have 3 grandchildren who are all preschoolers in age, and it struck me the other day that in not much more than 10 years, they're going to be looking at getting their driver's licenses, and they're going to be moving out of their homes where everything is supplied for them at the moment and becoming independent adults. And I realize those 10 years are going to go by in a flash. That's exactly what's happened to the human race in the last while. We used to simply take for granted that the earth would supply our food and our warmth and our clothing and air and water and everything. But suddenly, just like my grandkids, in a flash, in one generation, we've discovered that we're in the driver's seat on the planet and we're responsible for the future of the planet. Now, I think lots of people are very worried about that transition, but I think grandparents have 2 very important experiences that we can bring to that. The first is we know for sure it can happen because we've seen it happen in 3 generations. We saw it happen with us. We were dependent kids at one time, and we've grown up and we've become parents, and we've seen it in our kids who, maybe to our astonishment, actually grew up and became parents themselves, and we're about to see that in our grandchildren. Maybe some of us have already seen that in our grandchildren. So what we bring to this transition where the human race is now in charge of the planet is grandparents know it's possible. And I think that's very important. Some people are really worried, but we know it can happen because we've seen it happen. And the second thing we bring, I think, is that we learned in our own parenting and in our kids' parenting that sometimes you have to be really clear about expectations. And as grandparents, our expectations are going to have to be that right now, absolutely for certain, our leaders take this new responsibility for the planet seriously. So you and I as grandparents, we know it can work. We understand that sometimes you have to be very clear about what has to happen with your kids' leadership. And we get to say to our politicians and to our community, yes, this responsibility is important and we must take it. So I'd invite you to be with us as grandparents act.